Hello and welcome to 5 and 5, where we ask industry leaders questions pertaining to one of 5 topics chosen completely at random. I'm very happy to announce that we have Karan Tandon with us today. Karan is the head of partner management for Disney Media Plus, the Walt Disney Company, Southeast Asia. Thank you so much for joining us, Karan.
Thanks for having me.
A pleasure. All right, let's see which topics we're going to delve into today. All right, I'm just going to spin the spinning wheel. You know what? Memories is like my favorite topic, but I've had that for the last few, so I'm going to spin it again and let's see what comes up. Okay.
Oh.
Not really meant to do that.
Maybe it comes back again.
Yeah, then it's meant to be. What's it landed on?
Failure.
Are you okay for us to delve into failure?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if it hasn't been covered before, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. So failure. What does failure mean to you?
Failure is not living up to the expectation of what you had actually planned, what you had actually hoped for, not getting into the, not being able to deliver on what you had committed. That could be right, that could be personal, that could be professional. It's also, not seeing things through the way you should at the end, because I think leaving something in the middle, or in terms of not finishing it, is also kind of a failure in terms of that. So yeah, it could mean a lot of things, but yeah, at the end it's like not getting where you wanted to go.
Do you feel that in order to get where you want to go, there has to be failure on the way, though? Like if there isn't failure, you haven't really tried, because failure is inevitable, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, again, I would say obstacles, right? Not necessarily failures. It's of course I mean, no interesting journey is a smooth journey, right? In terms of there has to be bumps, there has to be obstacles.
Yeah.
You would say them as failure. Somebody would say them obstacles. Somebody would just,
exactly.
Somebody would just say rite of passage in terms of getting there. So it's the term that we define in our head, right? Is it that I've failed or I've just stopped and everything? But again, it's the journey that matters at the end, right? Not just the destination. And sometimes you need to take these routes to understand. But again, it's how you look at things. And some would look at as a roadblock. Some would look at obstacles. Some would look as complete failures. But yeah, I just look at it as part of the learning process.
Karan, would you mind sharing or unpacking a failure that's happened in your life, or what something that you would consider a great failure?
So I had a mentor early in my career, and just we're talking about failure. So she taught me a very important rule, and which I still follow today, and even with my team, right? And I tell them that it's absolutely okay to make mistakes. Everybody does, right? There's no perfect human being, but it's silly to repeat the same mistake again, right? That's most important, right? Everybody, it's till the time you actually go out there, try different things, you're never gonna get that magic in terms of what we say at Disney, right? A magical campaign or a magical event and everything, because till the time you don't fail in certain things. So I always push my team, come back with 10 ideas, let me thrash 9 of them, but at least that one idea we'll see through. And yeah, I mean, talking about I've had a few failures in my campaigns, in my work and everything. Also, in terms of one very recent failure was actually which actually changed me also as a manager, was about 5 years back when I came to Singapore. And I was selling television in India, and television was booming in India, right? I was making sales, I was a rock star and everything, and I came to Singapore, and it was just a whole new world for me. I couldn't sell because the thing is, in television it was being sold on the product, right? But in Singapore I realized that it's a lot sold on networking and the relationships, right? It's not just the product. And when I came to Singapore I had none. So for 6 months I was just sitting, and and then I realized that. But again, I see, it was a failure, but it was also a defining moment in my career, because that's when I thought that it's okay with television. I'm done. It's time to think. It's time to think new things, and yeah, I couldn't be happier with my decision of leaving television and getting into influencer marketing or partnership. That what I'm doing, because I'm really loving it, what I'm doing right now. So yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, you learn from every failure, right? So that they actually end up being little markers of success, if you see it that way. Is there?
I mean, so down the line you can think of it as, but at that point of time you're obviously very heartbroken and thinking what to do and what have I done wrong with my life and everything. But yeah, but somewhere down the line you can always look at the bright side, and especially when it works out for you.
Yeah. Hindsight's a great thing, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Not at that time.
Is there a particular failure that you see in marketing quite often?
I think the biggest failure in marketing is that when you're actually, for marketers, when they're actually doing the marketing of the product, right, they're just going all out with the audience, right? There's no proper targeting. And especially I've seen that from television, right? In terms of, even when marketers are doing, not everybody is a football fan, right? Not every beer drinker is a football fan, right? That's in terms of, there are a lot of other sports, there are a lot of other activities and everything. So in terms of the spillage that happens when you're actually doing above the line activity, right? That's really high. So how do you actually zero in on the audience and funnel in terms of, and making the best use of the dollars that you have? Uh, so I've seen a lot of marketing campaigns. Just to give you an example, there is Indian Premier League, which is the cricketing league, which is happening, which is one of the biggest leagues in the world now in terms of cricket, right? And the advertisers there are just about mass advertisements, right? Because they think that everybody is watching, and everybody who's watching is going to go and buy. But in terms of the audience, in terms of the demographics of the audience, right, it's so different that the top sponsor, which is Adidas, right, which is promoting it, I don't think so it's the right messaging that they're actually doing at that point of time.
Right.
So yeah, in terms of, I think, understanding your audience and understanding the platform. Fortunately, today digital is able to help us able to zero in on that. But one of the biggest failures I see from many marketers is the spillage that happens because of who they're trying to run after.
Okay. All right. Last question. Is there a fail that you admire the most? So, maybe an example of someone that has failed and come back, or, a marketing campaign that perhaps didn't do very well, but then, or missed the mark, but then overcame that. I mean, or a personal failure that you admire. Anything?
I mean, I admire all my failures, but in terms of in terms of the person that I most admire when it comes to failure is Steve Jobs, right? In terms of how he never, he had such strong belief that he never thought he failed, right?
Yeah.
Even when he created the most expensive computer, which was not selling, which was not there, because he had such strong belief in the product that eventually it was not selling well, but it will at one point of time.
Yeah.
Right. So and again, he never believed he failed, but the entire world did, right, at that point of time. And to come back with, and just come back the way he did, I'm just a big fan.
Yeah, no, me too, totally.
Apple
I mean,
forever.
he got ousted by his company, didn't he? He got kicked out, and then they asked him to come back. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
He
I
had
mean,
to go
how
through that. He had to go through that humbling experience, I think, because I think that shaped him afterwards to be, I don't know if it's
Absolutely.
not
I mean,
considered, but
what else bigger failure, right? That the company he built, it was so successful. It became so successful that it kicked him out, right? And then was again desperate to get him back. And then when he came back, I mean, with the vision he came back, and the rest is history, right? The Mac, the iPod, and now the iPhone. So yeah,
okay. Well, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure talking to you and hearing your views on all things failure.
always a pleasure. Thanks, Natasha.
Till next time, this has been 5 and 5.